Everyone, so today we are tackling yet another embarrassing mess in my house. That's what I'm gonna put out there. We are doing a major pantry clean out today. And this is probably the worst my pantry has ever looked. And I'm slightly embarrassed about it, almost too embarrassed to put this on the internet, but we're gonna do it anyway. Because there's something about turning on a camera and turning to you guys that always helps me get it done. You guys hold me accountable, and it gives me like a time and a date and a place and hey, we're getting it done on this day. And then I turn on the camera so I can't get away from it. So, yeah, this is the worst my pantry's ever looked. Did I already say that? It's true though. It's been a very long time since I've taken everything out of my pantry, wiped everything down, did the whole thing, went through expired food, all that kind of stuff, reorganized everything. I'm just gonna go ahead and show the before so you can see it, so you can see the disaster in all of its glory. We're talking the whole pantry, floor to ceiling. It is a mess. It is just, I can't even speak. That's how bad it is. And I don't even know all the things we're gonna find in this pantry. It's gonna be a mystery. It may be like a full Mary Poppins of pantries. I don't even know what we're gonna pull out of here. It's one of those things where we had people bring us things when we had the baby, and the holidays we bought things. I bought food thinking I was gonna meal prep before the baby got here and we'd have meals ready to go. Or I thought I'd cook a nice dinner for everybody. And then we just ended up either going out to eat, or we actually ended up doing Factor. And this whole pantry situation makes me even more confident in our decision to get Factor meals. And this video is actually sponsored by Factor. We're obsessed with Factor in this house. I've talked about Factor before. If you've been around here, you've heard me jab my jaws about it, because it has been the best thing for my family right now. We're in the thick of it. We've got 2 under 2. We're getting 2.5 seconds of sleep right now. And it's been so nice to have meals ready to go. We can just throw them in the microwave for 2 minutes, and then we can have a nice, delicious, and nutritious meal on the table ready to go. And if you haven't heard of Factor before, Factor delivers fresh, never frozen meals straight to your door. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. You can choose from a weekly menu of 35 options, including popular options like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or Vegan and Veggie. Also, discover more than 60 add-ons every week, like breakfast, on-the-go lunch, snacks, and beverages to help you stay fueled and feel good all day long. Also, Factor is super flexible. You can change your order up every week, plans from 4 to 18 meals per week, or pause or reschedule your deliveries anytime. What we love so much about Factor is, first of all, we never get tired of the meals. So I'm usually making the same meals all the time when I cook. But with Factor, they change it up every single week. You have different meals to choose from, so we never get tired of the meals. And also, it doesn't matter what's going on around here, how busy things get, or unexpected things that happen, which is pretty much all the time. It doesn't matter. We always have a nutritious meal ready to go in 2 minutes, so we can squeeze it in at any point, earlier in the day, later in the day. So we love Factor so much. Anyways, if you want to give Factor a try, you can head to factor75.com and use code 50Libra to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. Once again, that's code 50Libra at factor75.com for 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Before I jab my jaws any longer, we're gonna jump into this. I'm gonna do a voiceover type of situation so I can talk about what I'm doing as I'm cleaning and organizing. If you don't like my voice, or you don't wanna hear me jab my jaws, you can hit the mute button, play music, do whatever you wanna do, and watch it in fast motion and watch the whole progress take place. But yeah, we're gonna jump into this whole thing. We got a lot to do. And by the way, stay tuned till the end of this video, because we're going to have some before and afters going on, and I have a feeling they might be good. So here we go. Let's jump into this. Let's do it. All right, here we are, everybody. We're at the before. I wanted to take one final look at the before, because I'm never going to have it look like this again. We cannot get back here ever. We can't do it. I'm tired. And I already see 4 jars of peanut butter, and we haven't even dug in yet. This is like an episode of Hoarders. Lord, here we go. We're diving in. Let's do it. I did things a little bit differently with this pantry, because normally I like to take everything out. If you've watched my decluttering videos before, I like to take everything out, start from scratch, declutter, and then put things back, organize them, do the whole thing. But this was a whole other monster, and I didn't have enough counter space to put all these little things and floor space and all that. So I decided to start
in the deep abyss, the floor of this pantry, so I can at least get around and walk around in this little area and not be stepping on a bunch of random things. So I took everything out of here. I had fruit packets, I had protein things, I had ranch, I had olives, I had nacho cheese sauce, like a big vat of nacho cheese sauce. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know what was happening in here, but I'm taking everything out, and you'll see here that I kind of go in and spot vacuum a little bit. I am going to go in here at the end and get the floorboards and sweep and mop and do the deep cleaning down here. But for now, I'm just trying to kind of sweep up any crumbs and crusty, dusty things so I don't have to be stepping in it when I'm working on the other shelves. So you'll see here I'm vacuuming a little bit. I get out my handy dandy Dyson, vacuuming a little bit, and then just getting everything off the floor and out of this area so I can have the space to work. But yeah, it was so bad. I don't even know how it got this bad, you guys. Just pure negligence probably is. We're just going to take accountability. It is what it is. But we're tackling it now, and that's what counts. So here we go. We're vacuuming up the crusty, dusty stuff. I'm not mopping yet because I'm going to be stepping all over this area. Okay, cool. You can stop vacuuming now. We're ready to move on. So here I'm moving on to the shelving situation, which was a whole disaster, as you can see. But I decided to break this up in two parts. I'm doing my lower shelf when I did the floor, the lower shelf, and then the top shelf all in one day. And then I did the two middle shelves on the second day. And the reason I did it that way is the bottom shelf, the top shelf, and the floor all have mainly backstock items or items in boxes, or I had some trash bags, floor cleaner, like cleaning supplies, dog supplies like medications, dog food, nail clippers. I was not ready to get into that, but it's now or never. I don't know that I'll ever be ready, but we're doing it. And then I have my KitchenAid mixer in there and all that kind of stuff. And then for the second part, I'll be tackling mainly food items. For now, I'm taking everything off the bottom shelf and the top shelf, putting everything on my countertops. I'm not sorting it yet. I'm not looking at expiration dates yet, because all that kind of stuff just gets me sidetracked. And once I'm sidetracked, I move so slow. So here I'm just trying to work quickly, get everything on the countertops. Then I can sort through everything, get rid of what I need to get rid of, look at expiration dates, do the whole thing. But that's just how my brain works. Once I take things out, I know I'm going to put them back in. Like I can't leave them on my countertop. It'll drive me crazy. So if I take things out, I'm putting them back in. But my number one recommendation, not that you should take any tips from me, because look at this freaking pantry. Like I can't even keep it together. But if I had any tip to offer, I would say work with how your brain works. So if you know that you're going to take everything out and then you're going to run out of time and you're not going to be able to put everything back in, or you're going to get sidetracked, or it doesn't bother you to leave things on your countertops or whatnot, then maybe just take smaller sections, or do 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, whatever you can fit into your schedule. Or maybe your brain works where you need to take everything out. You need the full refresh. You can't have part of your pantry a complete disaster and the other part looking nice and fancy. You just need to do all of it all at once. Totally get that too. But yeah, I knew here, another thing that helps me, by the way, is filming it. When I know I'm going to film it, I block out time to do it. It holds me accountable. I already have a plan to do it. And even if you're not showing anyone or putting it on YouTube or putting it on TikTok or social media or wherever, even if you're just looking at it for yourself to see a good before and after, or like, oh, look, I did this. It feels good. Like when you film it, you know you're doing it. Like you're in the process of doing it, and you get the before and after, which I feel like is helpful. So, those are just some tips from a complete disaster of a human being, if you needed any. Anyways, here I am just finishing clearing off the shelves, and then we're going to move on to cleaning this area. So I'm going to go in with my handy dandy Dyson, and I'm going to get all the crusty, dusty crumbs, whatever I got going on up here. Then I'm going to go in and wipe down the shelves and the walls, and I like using an all-purpose spray. I use the Mrs. Meyer's lilac scent here, something that smells nice and fresh, but also cleans. But you can use whatever you like. A wet rag with some soap on it. You can use magic eraser, whatever, which I probably should have done because I had some areas that were kind of scuffed up. But I really wanted it to smell nice and fresh in here and clean. So I like a nice little scented situation. So I went in with an all-purpose spray. All right, so here is when I start going through everything, looking at expiration dates, going through bins, reorganizing things, getting rid of things, and all that kind of stuff. So here, this is the dog bin that I had that had all their medications, nail clippers, toothbrushes, all that kind of stuff. A lot of these medications were expired anyway, but yeah, it was hard to go through this bin, I'm not going to lie. I just tried to work really quickly because my dogs are no longer with us, but they're here in spirit. Neens is looking over us. Bailey's looking over us right now. And they're like, Ghoul, get it together. And we are trying. So that's what we're doing here. Going through this. This is like a lot of backup cleaning supplies. What am I trying to say? Swiffer wipes, Clorox wipes, magic erasers, those types of things in here. So just organizing it. This is a lot of back stock stuff. So anyways, I knew I wanted these on the bottom shelf of my pantry, so I'm just putting them on the bottom shelf here. And then I just bought a big thing of Ziploc baggies from Costco, so I had a bunch of backup here that I put on top of that. Then more back stock is on the bottom shelf and cleaning supplies. So I have my what am I thinking of? My Dyson attachments and that one little basket thing. Then I have some floor cleaner, vinegar, then some more like things that are in boxes, like my hot chocolate, popcorn, the bigger stuff from like Costco and those types of places, like bulk items. And then I didn't realize I had this many puffs. Like, this is what happens in this pantry when I can't find anything and I'm like, we don't have any puffs. And then we have 3,000 canisters of them. I don't even, at least we go through these really quickly and so they won't expire. But still, like, we'll get through them before they expire. But that's just an ungodly amount of puffs. But here we are. We're about to have another kid eating puffs here in a couple months, I'm sure. So, or maybe longer than that. But still. We're going to have 2 kids eating these puffs eventually. All right, so here, once again, just going through and cleaning out these bins, giving them a fresh start and putting, this is my back stock flour, and I had some cornstarch and like baking products here. And these will go on the top shelf in my pantry. So we're going to start off. Oh, wait, I'm putting sugar and chocolate chips. Okay, that moved quick. Anyways, here I'm just putting things back onto the top shelf. I've got all of my cookbooks, and I like to organize these by the color on the spine of the book. So I do a little bit of a Roy G. Biv action. If you know Roy G., you know Roy G. So yeah, that way they look nice when I open my pantry. It's not just a bunch of books thrown in there. Anyways, okay, so here I'm just finishing putting things on the top shelf. I have some extra chips, backstock chips, some paper towels. I put some of my baking supplies up top, backstock of that. And then I have noodles in that basket there. And then I have a bunch of my spooky pans that I keep in this little area, and I kind of just line them up. I kept kicking my tripod, by the way. This is the tiniest little space to film in. I was trying to navigate the space and like move my camera around, and I just kept tripping over the tripod. So if you see it shake, that's why. Anyways, it would have been fun to get another angle of that and just see how many times I tripped, but that's all right. We'll do it next time. All right, so here we're moving on to part 2, day 2, and this is where it really gets exciting because we're going to make some decisions. We're going to have some real before and afters here because there's a lot to go through. And even though the before and after is really exciting, the thing that paralyzes me the most when it comes to cleaning my pantry, and I don't know if anyone else is like this, is I feel the most guilt about food waste, throwing out food, food expiring, that kind of thing. It just makes me feel so guilty that I just end up not cleaning out my pantry because I don't want to face it. But then at the same time, the solution is to clean out the pantry so I can see what I have. I don't get more than I need. And that's how I got in this situation to begin with. So I need to clean it out to have the solution to this problem, but it doesn't make it any easier. So if you also have food guilt, then I'm with you there. And that's also why I love Factor and that we decided to do Factor, because before I would make meals and then I'd have produce left over that would go bad, or leftovers that were left over that would go bad. So now we don't have leftovers. We don't have a bunch of random produce in there. I'm not making a bunch of random meals. So that's been really nice. But now I've got to get my pantry on track and get it together. So that's what we're doing here. Just I'm making these harsh decisions and just getting rid of things that are expired and parting ways, taking a deep breath and being like, Ghoul, it is what it is. You can't do anything about it now. So just learn from it and move on. And that's all I can do. So that's what I'm doing here. Trying not to get held up by any feels. And I'm taking out a trash bag. And it is gone. We're moving forward. Okay, so here I'm putting some chips in this basket situation. Eventually, I'd like to get some more baskets to put, like, to make things look a little nicer in here, not just have a bunch of stuff like just thrown in there. But that's when I get real with myself and I'm like, cool, keep it together first. Prove to yourself that you can keep things nice and organized and clean and decluttered, and then go in with the fancy organizing things, because then at that point I'll know what I need. Like, I have some things in here, like this little stair step thing for my canned goods, which, by the way, I'm going through here and looking at all the expiration dates. I actually didn't have a ton of expired food in here, but I did have a lifetime supply of green beans and baked beans in here for whatever reason. It's a bean kind of situation in here. I'm a bean collector, everybody. But yeah, I feel like once I can keep things cleaned, organized, decluttered, then I can go in with the cool like baskets, like the organized baskets that are all uniform, and because I'll know what I need. Like, this is back stock that I keep on hand. Like, I know I keep backup gluten-free flours or backup sugar, that kind of thing. But I don't need like 20 backup things of baked beans. Like, I just don't. So we're not going to be doing that. Anyways, that's besides the point. So here, the longest story longer, I'm decluttering first. Then I'll get to the fancy organizing solutions. But I do have a couple things. Like, these Lazy Susans are a little fancy, don't you think? Like, I put my oil and vinegar and sauces on here, salsas, whatever kind of situation. Oh, okay. Well, here we're cleaning. So going back in with my handy dandy Dyson, spraying everything down, wiping everything down. It smells nice and fresh. I wish you could scratch and sniff the screen right now and smell what's going on here, because it smells amazing and fresh and like spring. Also, I don't know what radioactive situation happened on the area of this shelf here. One day I want to repaint in here. That's another thing. But once again, here we are getting sidetracked. So we're back to the Lazy Susans. We're putting back on one Lazy Susan. I'm putting all my oils and vinegars. Well, not all my oils. I have some of them on the backstock shelf, but the smaller bottles. Then on the other one, I have sauces, hot sauce, that kind of thing. And then I've got my little stair step thing with all my canned goods on there. I'm trying to organize them as best I can. I'll try to link that stair stepper thing in the Lazy Susans if I can find them. I'll try to link them in the description box. But here I'm just organizing my cans and my spices, backup spices, or just the big guys. And then I moved some things around. So I brought the ranches up here. I had them on the bottom shelf before. So I kind of just continue to move things around as I'm putting things back. And then here I have these fancy little containers here that we got last time we did a pantry clean out. I'll try to find them and link them below if I can find them. But I thought I'd do a fun little snack area for Lucian. And on the top shelf of this little organizer thing, I put his fruit packets. He likes different brands, different flavors. So I thought I'd mix them up here. Then on the bottom shelf, I put some Nutri-Grain bars, some Odie bars, and just some things where he can have a little snack. He can grab it himself. He can reach in this little shelf here. Or, we get it for him. Or when my mom, my stepdad are over, they always open the pantry. They're like, we couldn't find anything. Well, which isn't surprising. But now they can open the pantry and be like, oh, here's Lucian's little area. We can grab a snack for him, and they can pick whichever one they want. Then this is our little snack area. Lucian also likes these little fig bars, but we mainly eat them, Dallas and I do. So I'm putting them in this little organizer that I got. Once again, I think I got this when we did our last pantry clean out. But yeah, I'm just putting, and I have the gluten-free ones in the front. And here I'm just working on putting everything back. So I'll move things around, and I was trying to use up some vertical space. So I stacked some things and just moving it around until things fit, essentially, or just seem to make sense. Like, I have all of Lucian's snacks in one little area. Then Dallas and I have our snacks in another area, or chips or whatever. And then this little area here is going to have all my baked good stuff, or stuff that I use for baked goods. It's right underneath my backstock for like my flours and sugars and stuff. And then I put some baked good stuff. And then I have all my dry ingredients here that I have in my little OXO containers. I'm wiping them down. Like, while I'm in here, might as well wipe everything down, give everything a nice fresh start. So that's what I'm doing here. Just using a wet cloth to wipe everything down with a little dish soap. I put a little Dawn dish soap on it, and then I'm wiping it down again with a clean cloth, like a dry clean cloth. And so now I'm putting everything back and just rearranging things until I feel like it's taking up the least amount of space but still makes sense, kind of thing. So I'm just stacking them, lining them up, trying to figure out kind of the configuration that I want here, which I'm sure I'll move around a million times. But yeah, this is what we ended up with. So then in the corner area, Dallas has all of his little supplement things. So vitamins, energy, booster. I don't know what these things are. All his different workout stuff that he has in his little area. So yeah, I just stacked those and like his AG1, all that kind of stuff in this little corner here. Last but not least, we are working on the floor of the pantry. This is the nastiest part, the crustiest, dustiest part of this whole video. I'm getting out my handy dandy Dyson. I'm doing the brush attachment. I'm getting down on the baseboards. We are getting in all the nooks and crannies. Not one crumb will be left behind. Then I'm going in and wiping everything down, wiping the baseboards and the wall and the whole thing. Then I got to get the center part of the floor, which was the nastiest part. I had to vacuum up the crumbs and dusty, crusty stuff. Then I had to go and scrape up some stuff. And then I went in and basically hand mopped the whole place. And then from there, once everything was all mopped and cleaned and not one little crumb to be found, I moved things back in. I had my aprons I needed to hang up. My my trash can. So anyways, that is it. I'm going to show some before and after pictures, or visuals, so you can see what it looked like before and then after. And yeah, anyways, thank you so much for holding me accountable, hanging out here, decluttering, organizing, cleaning with me. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. Say hey ghoul hey down in the comments, because you know I love talking to you. And hopefully this video gave you maybe a little bit of motivation if you're looking for some cleaning motivation. I love these types of videos for motivation, so I hope I could help there. And yeah, anything else you want to chit chat about in the comments, any cleaning, organizing, decluttering tips you have, I'd love to see them. And yeah, anyways, thank you so much for hanging out here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.